Hello and welcome to the Understanding Narcissist YouTube channel. This video may be a little controversial because I kind of take a, hard stance on the subject of a narcissist's identity. And generally speaking, I like to be pretty humane in my treatment of narcissists, and I want to continue that within this video. But it doesn't sound terribly humane what I'm going to go into. And it's not that it's inhumane necessarily, but that it could lead to inhumane treatment towards narcissists. Because narcissists are people, they have feelings, but when you're defending yourself, when you're trying to save yourself from a narcissist, they do become dehumanized in a way in your mind. And it isn't a result of anything you've done. It really has to do with them. Once you start to understand narcissists and you start to pull away from them, they panic and they become something entirely different. They really stop looking like people and they really stop feeling like people. Now, they don't really feel like people to begin with. They've already raised your suspicions there, but their behavior becomes so barbaric in a way that your mind does kind of kick into gear in kind of a survival mode type thing. We realize these people are dangerous and they're ill. They are not doing well and they only want to cause you harm. What I want to cover is the lack of personhood, their lack of an identity, and why I think that explains a lot of their behavior. For one thing, if you've been around a narcissist for a substantial period of time, where you know how they live, you know what they do day to day, you know what their hobbies are, you know what they're enthused about, if you can even use that word, you start to learn that it's very fragmented. There isn't a core identity that I can tell within a narcissist, any narcissists, really. It's not that there isn't a person in there somewhere, it's just that that person is not developed, is not really fully formed, and so has no sense of identity, has no sense of self. And so they strive to achieve something, a certain image, that really isn't possible to begin with, and is necessarily couched on lies and falsehood. And worse than that, really couched on a lot of harm and pain and agony that they cause in other people. Something you may have noticed before is how they easily take on other beliefs, take them on as their own, take on ideas, behaviors within a very short period of time that all of a sudden they treat as if they've always adopted this way of life or belief system. And if you're around a narcissist, you know that really isn't the case. They don't do that they flip and flop and they aren't really consistent, except in how they bring harm to people. There's some consistency in the illusion, but even there, a lot of it really doesn't make any sense. In fact, the illusion itself is really, in my opinion, situated on a contradiction. And that's kind of what's driving it, is trying to disprove this contradiction by doing all these other things at any cost to fool people into believing it's true. And they're going to continue doing that because it's not true, because it's completely wrong. What you have then is something where, in order to understand them, you have to treat them like they aren't really people. You have to treat them in your mind as though they don't conform to the same rules of life that you do, the same rules of conduct between other people that you do. And the thing is, that's absolutely true. They don't. They have totally different rules, and they're willing to do all kinds of different things to get what they want that you would never do. By the way, they're doing it every day. You just don't know it. They can keep it hidden for the most part, and unless they're desperate. When they start to become desperate and dangerous and aggressive and all that, then it becomes more readily apparent. Everything becomes unhinged. It kind of starts, the cycle kind of goes backwards, where instead of controlling you more, they try to control you, and it pushes you away, and they get worse because they have less control, and then everything implodes. However, what you have to understand is that the necessary, I don't want to say sacrifice, but it is kind of a sacrifice of how you treat people, your principles, your values, your beliefs, your ethics. It feels like, and a narcissist will capitalize on this or exploit this, it feels as though you're betraying yourself when you're trying to get away from them. And they will act like you are, because they will self-victimize. They will be the ones who are being destroyed. And they are, and here's the thing, they are kind of being destroyed. And it feels really painful, so you feel like you should stick it out for them so you don't have to bring any harm to them. Well, here's the thing. They're already in a lot of pain. Yeah, you're going to put them through more pain. But they're never going to get better. They're already in a lot of pain. There's no reason why you should have to be in pain just because they're in pain. And if it's any consolation, and I guess it's really not, because it's just more people in pain, they're going to find somebody else. It never stops. It's not the end of the world once you're away from them. They find other people. They're very resourceful in that way. By the way, they probably have other people already as you're pulling away. So it doesn't really add up that you should simply live in misery for their sake. Misery is going to be there no matter what. It isn't your responsibility. If you could fix it, I would try myself, but I don't know how. And so simply causing less pain by protecting yourself is a good course of action. Yes, it's going to hurt them, but as I say, most of it is going to happen anyway. They already have all kinds of problems. They're unstable to begin with. So that has nothing to do with you. You're not responsible for any of that. You're not responsible for their well-being. And in that way, you're doing a great disservice. You're doing more harm by letting them hurt you. Respect them as people. Treat them as people. But when you're thinking of them, when you're trying to understand them, and when you're protecting yourself from them, you have to play dirty. You have to use everything you know, because they're going to use everything they can to get you under their control. And that, in my opinion, necessitates a reaction. And that's going to be, use what you can to get away from them. Use everything you know. And also understand that their entire purpose to get you is to do harm, and you are justified, entirely justified, in protecting yourself, your loved ones, and others for the sake of everybody's well-being, in some ways including the narcissist. We can't let narcissists control us. It's destroying everyone. And the first thing that would have to be done in order to reduce that destruction is by not allowing it to happen in the first place. Whether you're a parent who is facilitating a child developing narcissism, whether you're somebody who is married to a narcissist and you are not adequately protecting your family and yourself from their abuse, whether you were brought up by a narcissist and you have been enabling them your whole life, and in other situations, that responsibility is yours. You do have a responsibility to protect others with your knowledge and what you know, what you've experienced. it's not your sole responsibility, but I think that taking that upon yourself, including protecting yourself, is probably one of the greatest things I can give you, and is my goal with this channel when it really comes down to it, because that is the only thing that's actually going to bring some kind of relief to the widespread pain and agony that narcissists inflict on us and on the population as a whole, which you can't possibly calculate. I mean, how would you? But you know it's happening. If you've been around a narcissist, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I hope you like this video. Like it if you do. Share it with somebody you think might benefit from it. Comment in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Bye.